Hello and welcome to the week with me, Puja Awasthi. Today we have with us Dr. Sudhir Prem Srivastava, a renowned cardiothoracic surgeon who is also the man behind India's 100% made in India first robotic surgeon called SSi MANTRA. SSi MANTRA has recently received permission for telesurgery as well. We call upon Dr. Srivastava to understand how this will impact surgery and medicine in India. Welcome to the week, Dr. Srivastava.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
If you could please, for our viewers, give a very quick recap of exactly what it is and what makes it unique.
Yeah. So the SSI Mantra system that we now have developed from version 2 to version 3 also, and that was done within literally 5 months. So it's a very different, very advanced technologically. It's not a copy of any of these other existing systems. And also it's got many, many more features, a very different design. And most importantly, we kept it affordable without compromising the quality, and in fact, made it able to be able to used in all specialties, including cardiac surgery, which is quite unique to the Mantra system because ours is the only system today that can do a full spectrum robotic cardiac surgery, which is absolutely phenomenal for the patients. Instead of having their sternums split, we can do that. The design is very different at every level, and open-faced console with a very large monitor. Up to 5 arms can be controlled by the surgeon sitting on the console. A vision card that provides 3D vision to everybody, which makes it safer and shortens the learning curve and avoids accident and in fact used for training, etc. They see exactly the same large 3D view as the surgeon is doing, which is again unique to us only. Then our robotic arms, in fact, in Mantra 3, they are 40% slimmer. And the reason we did that was to avoid any collision, not that it was happening before, but it further advances. And ours is the only system that we can use 3, 4, or up to 5 arms. And we have developed certain enabling technologies that we will be using 5 arms in certain situations for literally deployment of automated devices that we are developing. And so all these features are quite unique and different. And also, the price was always a very important factor in my mind when developing this thing, not just for the country like India, but many countries around the world that just do not have access to this wonderful technology. And the idea of decentralizing and democratizing access, a cost becomes a very, very major factor. And so we have addressed that. And I think since maybe when we spoke last, almost close to 70 systems now have been installed, not only in India, but also there are systems in Nepal, Indonesia, and Ecuador. And almost 20 other countries it is moving forward. We have also initiated the US FDA as well as the European CE approval is ongoing right now as we speak. We have now done over 2,600 different types of procedures, including 140, with absolutely wonderful results of zero mortality, zero device-related complication or injury. So I think we have a wonderful track record and train a lot of people. So I think when you talked earlier, so additionally, what now has occurred, we did clinical trials. Firstly, we did animal trial on telesurgery. Because I think when talking about the telesurgery, the whole robotic system development occurred with the idea to be able to operate at long distance. And back in the 80s, NASA and Defense Department in United States, they funded tens of millions of dollars to develop this product, but that time technology was not ready and bandwidth just didn't exist, the whole transmission speed. So of course it was shelved, but now I think thanks to a very high speed connectivity and also the technology that we have developed, the telesurgery is a real thing. So now not only we have developed telesurgery, so we have received, and we are the only ones globally today that have received the formal approval from our Indian regulatory body, the CDSCO, both for teleproctoring and telesurgery. And I must say it is a very remarkable feat for us in terms of reaching out to people So teleproctoring allows us to be able to guide surgeons, and I have done that sitting literally in my office while having lunch, almost 2,000 kilometers away. So we bring the 3D video feed and literally having multiple screens in a pair of headset mounted glasses. And I'm able to literally guide people and telestrate, do whatever I need to do. So I don't have to travel. So I think this one makes it very efficient, cost effective, and one can take this expertise to new surgeons that are launching program. In relation to the telesurgery, so we did an animal trial. First of all, we followed a very disciplined approach in a very responsible way. So we did 10 procedures, long distance, on a live pig model. A group of surgeons came from different parts of the country, and from our office we performed these procedures, including cardiac procedure, following which we did a formal clinical trial. Most of the cases were done at Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute by Dr. Sudhir Raval and his team, and they were sitting here in our office, and it was remarkable that it was almost like real time, that you could not tell is being done at long distance. The total latency, which means delay, that is always a concern, was only 41 milliseconds, which
Right.
is really nothing. And also, there was no issue whatsoever in relation to not only the transmission. Of course, it is absolutely cyber secure, because we it's a point to point, and we are partnered with Airtel. And now we are also looking to, there is a thing called air fiber, as opposed to these cables that are buried in the ground. But there's also a thing called 5G air fiber. So we are in dialogue with them because that completely opens up a very different arena for us. And the whole idea of telesurgery is to really bring, between the combination of teleproctoring and telesurgery, bring the care to patients. As we know, in our country and many other countries for that matter, larger populations live in rural areas who really do not have access to this wonderful technology and expertise of other surgeons. So using telesurgery with high-speed connectivity, we can really bring this care to patients wherever. The expert surgeons can offer their expertise in different hospitals. Of course, it will require another mantra system in that hospital and a team of people. So safety is never compromised. And based on our experience, I think we should be able to literally launch anywhere in the country. We are also looking at operating in other countries where we have our system today. So I think this will be the future as we go. Not only, I think, the finally achieving the goal of the original idea of telesurgery, and at a point in time, this will occur in space and all kinds of remote areas, army locations, sitting in the Himalayan mountains. So this, I think, will have a huge impact actually, and it may be a certain time frame for acceptance, like anything new. There's always a concern, and especially in patient's mind, oh, I am here and the surgeon is sitting elsewhere. So it will take some kind of education and getting comfortable in relation to that the technology is actually safe. It can be done. If anything, it will provide the benefit of having access to these experts, which otherwise will not be possible, or we will have to travel to them, or
Right.
then there are these waiting lists, etc., etc. So I think this will be for the future, and I think so of course China also they are doing it, but in global scene we are the only ones with a formal approval, and India can really take a leadership role as we move forward in advancing this wonderful way of giving access to experts, to teaching others, and providing care wherever. We are also modifying a bus whereby we will place our system and literally take this bus wherever needed, hold camps, and to provide service sitting wherever. So vision is very far reaching, and someday we hope that we will get our Prime Minister Modi ji's attention to really help, when his view of these various things that they've created, Ayushman and clinics and so on and so on. And I think this will be a great thing for our country. in terms of really providing healthcare wherever needed.
So, Dr. Srivastava, currently, how many mantra systems are operational in the country? This 100% Indian robotic surgeon, how many of them are operational in the country currently?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, and every week it is changing, which is wonderful. But I think it's around 66 or 67 today. And then there are three systems in other countries. We have one in United States also, mainly for demo. In fact, just yesterday, Harvard Medical College group, they're here, and they want to collaborate with us. And so, place the system for teaching training. But so currently we have roughly, I think, 66 or 67 in the country today.
And how soon do you think telesurgery will be performed on actual humans?
Oh, we have already done that. And
Oh,
that's what I was mentioning. Yeah, so we have done we have done at this point nine procedures in humans actually. Yeah, so that clinical trial was in humans. And now, since we have gotten the formal approval, because previously we could not do uh, the surgery, we did it as a part of the human clinical trial, which was completed. And based on that, now we have received the approval to be able to do surgery wherever in the country. So now we will be launching. In fact, our team right now is in dialogue with Airtel using 5G air fiber. And we have already tested in several countries, I'm sorry, several cities around the country, Bangalore, Ahmedabad, on the northeast side, Patna. So we literally have covered all the different areas where this actually can be performed. So now, once I get back from my travel schedules, the plan is to literally launch it clinically now, because we can do wherever today without restriction.
so mantra, I know that can do broad spectrum surgery, perhaps the broadest spectrum surgery that can be done by a robot. So, in these nine humans that you have operated on, what have been the kinds of surgery that mantra has performed?
Yeah, so they were very complex uro-oncology procedures. I think there were three radical cystoprostatectomy with what we call the new bladder construction. Then there were two gallbladders, then radical hysterectomy, nephrectomy. So they were all various complex cancer operations that were done. And in fact, now since we have the approval, my goal is it will be first ever in the world to do cardiac as telesurgery.
Right.
And I will be personally performing it. Yes.
I have one final question, Dr. Srivastava. I
Yes.
do know that you have penetrated the Indian market and that the mantra system, the big positive that it has, it's much more cost effective.
Yes.
But I wanted to know from you how deep are your linkages at present, or what are you planning to get in with the government so that you can reach more and more unserved region and very poor populations?
Sure. So, first of all, as far as the government and medical colleges are concerned, so currently we have a system in AIMS, and I think there are four medical colleges and various government hospitals. In fact, I think there's a system going to KGMU in Lucknow today,
Right.
and then SGPGI. So literally, all various government. I think, if I'm not mistaken, five or seven various government institutions or medical colleges, they have our system. I think this. In Nagpur, the GMC, the medical college in Nagpur. And then there are, I think, several other medical colleges, they have our system today. And regarding reaching out to some of the other smaller communities, so we already have our system in tier two and tier three cities. And I must say with tremendous pride that, you take Moradabad, we have a system there with a general surgeon. Less than a year, they did over 350 cases. And in one day, they did 8 procedures. So right now, I think there are at least 6 or 7 smaller communities that we have our system. And it's remarkable that in these smaller communities, they are so committed to really do more and more cases. And in these smaller communities, they are attracting patients from all other smaller communities around them. And this was, of course, always our goal was to, democratize access And since the expertise exists, so I think it is really already benefiting. And of course, we have penetrated literally every major chain in the country today.
And when compared to conventional surgery, it does not cost more.
Yeah, so it is always there will be, unfortunately, some cost of technology. We cannot avoid that. When you talk of the conventional, I'm assuming you're talking of the open surgeries.
Yes.
So I think compared to, the next step normally would be laparoscopic surgery to really compare, because that also is done through, small incision, and they have reusable instrument. So there are a lot of procedures actually that actually cannot be done laparoscopically because of the complexities. So where the robotic, but there is some incremental cost. I'll just give you a rough idea on the Indian context in terms of the rupees. So based on the number of arms used or number of instruments used, so anywhere the additional cost is somewhere between 45,000 rupees to 65,000 rupees. But the benefits of this is so huge, which normally otherwise either could not be done without doing, let's say, large open incisions and long recoveries, etc. But I think, at least we have not found, uh, patients turning it down. In fact, I have been approached by a lot of surgeons from around now, and they are really wanting our system because patients ask that, do you have robotic surgery? See, the awareness exists. So
Right.
when you talk of those, amounts actually, they're absolutely affordable. And one day we hope that we can really convince Ayushman scheme. They pay, I think, if I'm not mistaken, at around 70,000 rupees or so. It will be well covered. So I think, there's no reason that this same high level care cannot be given to people who are in a different, income brackets, etc. So I think it will reach out. It is absolutely affordable. The costs are very incremental. And I think the main reason to undertake robotic versus, let's say, laparoscopy would be, one is the very high level and advanced attributes of technology, whereby, the wrist motion, the large 3D monitors, tremor filtration, scaling. So all these things make the procedures safer and allow surgeons to do complex operations which otherwise will not be possible. So at least we have not found, now insurances also are reimbursing. So I
Right.
think, the financial factor, uh, I think based at least on our system, we have surpassed every single thing at this point.
So, what is next for SSi Mantra?
Oh my God, you want to know our secrets? I can share with you because it's public knowledge. So next year, which is just around the corner now, we are planning to develop a pediatric robotic system. And
Right.
that is one population, although our system now has been used in child as young as 9 months. But we want to really develop system that will offer broad spectrum, minimally invasive care also to the little ones.
Right.
And there's no reason that they should, experience trauma, larger incisions, etc. Then we are also developing various single arm applications, whereby we can, let's say, attach an ultrasound probe, and then offer this remotely wherever, and put it in a van and hold camps, and let people know we'll be holding a screening. Because see, one of the biggest issue with Indian rural areas and smaller communities, access is not there. So because of that, either for cultural reasons or not having access, late diagnosis occurs, which really, you take breast cancer as the biggest killer in the country, and a lot of people present at the late stage. So if we can provide this service, literally, we will help a lot of people. Then also biopsies, just taking a sample. Again, this all can be done automatic and remotely from sitting wherever. Then targeted therapies. And then, of course, this bus is under modification. It will become available, and we will, literally bring this care. So all kinds of things are in the pipeline, miniaturizing robots, developing very specialty specific instrumentation. And also, one thing we are doing next year, in March, we are again organizing a very large second global international conference, whereby all kinds of international faculty and national faculty and live cases will be demonstrated with our system including telesurgery. We have already done 2 telesurgery broadcasts, and I think again that for next year we will be pushing telesurgery and creating some regional, what I call the telesurgery studios, whereby surgeons can go and operate from there, uh, wherever the systems are there, to be able to extend this care further. So those are plans for next year. Going beyond, of course, we got all kinds of far-reaching visions for the country and the world for that matter.